So yeah, this is probably gonna be a short video. It's basically just talking about the trades I did because I should probably mention that so that I don't randomly show up in a later video with a team with some Pokemon which are not on my team on it because I didn't mention it. Not that anyone really watches these, but yeah, it's funny. Also, it's raining outside. I don't know if you can hear it. I can hear it really loud. I have no idea if uh it's gonna pick up on it, but it is. So yeah, video time. I don't know what this intro. Good intro. Yeah, enjoy the video. So there are a few things which I wanted to do with these trades. Uh, a lot of these were also brought up by the staff doing the draft analysis video for Johto. I can't remember exactly who was doing it. I'm pretty sure it was Butts, Jalek, and Mess. If I got the people wrong, I apologize. I think that's correct. I'm not entirely sure. Anyway, um, in that video, they looked at everyone's team in Johto and talked about what they liked about the team and what they didn't like about the team. And a lot of the things which they said they didn't like about the team uh, aligned with how I felt about the team as well. The first one and the main one is that I don't have a Pokemon with Rapid Spin. Even though Corviknight is very good hazard control, like Corviknight is one of the best defoggers in the game, it really likes to defog. Defog is something that's very good at. My only other hazard control is Tidy Up Cincino, which removes the hazards that I set up as well. And Corviknight's defog also does that. So, especially on my team, where I have, I think, 3 Pokemon that can spike in Overcrawl, Garchomp, and Ogerpon, and 2 Pokemon that can set up Stealth Rock, with the Azelf and Garchomp, and I also T-Spikes in Overcrawl. I think that hazards will likely be a big part of what I'm doing. So being able to remove hazards without removing my own would be very nice. The other thing which they mentioned, which I do agree with, is the fact that I think it was Jalek who said this. I only have one really bulky Pokemon with reliable recovery, and that's Corviknight, right? Corviknight has Roost. The only other Pokemon that I have with any recovery move, outside of like Rest and moves that deal damage and heal a percentage of the damage dealt, is Synthesis on Ogerpon. But Ogerpon is not a traditional super bulky Pokemon because my defensive core is like Corviknight and Primarina. Primarina doesn't have recovery, and then like Ampharos left on, and Ampharos also doesn't have recovery. So that's a pretty big issue, which I'd like to address. A third thing which they said, which I think is fine, is that my only special attackers, like main, like fully special attackers who are also like not Ampharos, because Ampharos is Ampharos, and I'm likely using it defensive every time. Uh, they're not like super high tier in draft. I only have Azelf, Chandelure, and my mind's blanking. What was the other one? Primarina. Yep, that. I know my team so well. But I think that's fine because like Primarina is my only fairy. I'm probably going to bring it a lot. Azelf has a good speed and a really good move pool. It can likely come to pretty much every matchup, if not every matchup. I say after not bringing it in week 1 or 2. And Chandelure is also really strong, and I think it's a really nice secondary turret captain, along with Ogerpon. It's quite a nice fallback. I probably should have turreted in week 2 instead of Ogre, but it's fine. Um, yeah, so also they all have really high special attack stats. Like, I'm pretty sure that the lowest one is Azelf with base 125 special attack, because I think Primarina has 126 and I know Chandelure has 145, so they hit really hard for special attackers. Anyway, enough of that, let's talk about how I fixed these issues. So, the way that I decided to fix this was trading out Cincino and Ampharos for Kamala and Bellybolt. I think that this is a really nice trade. which I probably should have just drafted these two from the start. I feel like they fit what I wanted better, but it was just easier for me to think of Cincino as a replacement to Cyclozar instead of going all the way down to Kamala. When I was drafting, since I really only did that in about 2 minutes, I'm pretty sure I was going to do something. I was like, oh, someone picked Cyclozar, better like change my plan. And then I went and did something and came back, and it was my turn to draft. And I kind of like crushed a bit, I think. I don't know. Anyway, the point is, when I didn't get Cyclozar, which was in my initial plan, which would fix the whole rapid spin thing, because it has rapid spin, and I didn't get it, I decided to replace it with Cincino because it was another like fast physical attack normal type with a setup move, and it can also remove hazards. But I realized that what I wanted from Cyclozar is more rapid spin than hazard removal, because like I do have a lot of spikers, and so having a normal type with rapid spin would be really nice, which is why Kamala is one of the two Pokemon. Um, Kamala is pretty cool. It learns rapid spin. Yeah, that's nice. It does some other stuff as well. It has like knockoff and U-turn, which are always good moves. It has good physical coverage and a base 115 attack stat. It has stab body slam, which can paralyze, which is always really annoying to play against and always can bail you out of a random situation. It has nice coverage with things like Earthquake, Wood Hammer, Ice Spinner, Zen Headbutt. It has Bulk Up, it has Trailblaze, it can't be Statist. Its ability is really broken. Comatose, one of the best abilities in the game. It's like if you got Good as Gold and made it slightly worse. Which is kind of funny to say because it's still one of the best abilities in the game. Yeah, it Kamala's pretty good. The main thing letting it down are its stats. It's not super bulky. It's also kind of slow. Like, its only good stat is attack, which is like base 115, which isn't crazy, but it's very cheap and it's a normal type with rapid spin. So I still have my ghost immunity. I now have my rapid spinner. It's really nice, and it has some other support options like Toxic, Yawn, Wish. I did not know that Kamala had Wish until after I had done this trade and I was looking at its move pool, which is something I probably should have done before I did the trade, but I'm happy with it even after looking at the move pool of the two Pokemon. Yeah, Wish is cool. Base 65 HP is not going to get me that far, but it could, like, maybe rejuvenate, I don't know, an Overquill or an Azel for Primarina or something. I don't really know. Anyway, Belly Bolt. Belly Bolt is mainly here because it gives the team a lot more longevity since it has Slack Off. Also, Ampharos is another bulky electric, right? Ampharos is more of an offensive electric, but I drafted it with it being a bulky electric in my eyes because I thought it would be helpful against things like flying types and electric types, which could be annoying for my team otherwise. And after 2 weeks where I brought Ampharos both weeks, and Ampharos was not great because it is in fact an Ampharos, I realize now my team really, really relies on Ampharos against a lot of Pokemon. Basically every Steel, Flying, and Electric type, I really needed Ampharos to be able to check it defensively. And Belly Bolt is just Ampharos, but it's way better defensively. It has higher HP and defense. It has slightly lower special defense, but its high HP makes it bulkier anyway. It has access to Slack Off. I mean, they both have Toxic because it's Nat Dex, but if it was Gen 9, then Ampharos wouldn't, but doesn't matter because it's Nat Dex, so they both have Toxic. Belly Bolt is just bulkier, it has more longevity, it has better abilities because it has Static, which is Ampharos' best ability in singles, which is kind of sad because Illuminate doesn't really do anything, and actually they changed Illuminate. I don't know if it boosts accuracy or just stops it from being lowered. I think it's just like a clone of Keen Eye now, which is kind of sad, which is... Okay, something we're just having new lights, it's kind of flickering, I don't know. Anyway, yeah, Ampharos' abilities suck. Its best one is Static. Belly Bolt has Static, but it also has Electromorphosis, which lets it hit harder. Every time it gets hit, it gets the charge effect. Next electric move it uses does double the damage. It's really cool. It also has Muddy Water, so it can hit ground types, which Ampharos really can't. I mean, Ampharos has better coverage, don't get me wrong, with things like Dazzling Gleam, Dragon Pulse, Focus Blast, Power Gem, Signal Beam, stuff like that. But Belly Bolt does have Muddy Water, which is that water move which helps against ground types. Yeah, basically it's just much better on the defensive side than Ampharos since it can actually heal itself. And yeah, I just think that it's a good trade overall. I'm essentially trading Ampharos for better Ampharos and I'm replacing Cincino, which I don't think I was going to use too much, for a somewhat similar, slower version with rapid spin. I am kind of stepping outside of my comfort zone because I've used Cincino a lot. I mean, most of that time was in Gen 8 when it, didn't have access to loaded dice and you used to run Skill Link. But I do think that Kamala will work very well, and this is mainly for Belly Bolt. Belly Bolt is the main trade, which I think is really, really important because Ampharos, I did not realize how much I would be wanting and needing to use Ampharos in so many matchups. Belly Bolt just does it what I wanted it to do so much better. Cincino probably wasn't contributing to the team very much anyway. Its speed tier was basically non-existent since it's the same as Azol's. Its offensive presence is somewhat negligible because basically everything it can do can be done by another member of my team. So having a Pokemon with better hazard removal, which was the main niche that it might have, is if I really need hazard removal and I don't think that Corviknight is reliable enough in this matchup, I could bring it. Having Kamala to do that without removing my hazards is really good, and it's still not awful offensively. It also has more defensive value since it's a bit bulkier. So overall, I just think that these trades are pretty good. Hopefully they can help me not go 0-8 because I'm currently 0-2, which is not the best in 2 weeks. I'm playing my next game in 2 days, I think. I should upload that match on that day later after I play it, probably because I don't edit my videos and I record the team builders before. Yeah, so hopefully this trade works out. Hopefully I do better moving forward in the league with Bellybolt and Kamala on my side. And yeah, that's it. That's all I need to say. I hope you enjoyed the video. Yeah, see you in the next one.